Okay, so we are working right now in chapter 9. I'm looking at figure 9 7-77, so which is, we call it a gasket. So, and there's quite a bit of geometry on this particular gasket that we need to um, go. So the first thing it says as we begin the new drawing is to set some limits here. So again, we'll do that. So I'll type in limits. So as we come in here, we'll just type in limits. So, and it wants the lower left corner to be 0, 0, and it wants the upper right hand corner to be 8, 6. So we've got that put in there. And now we need to kind of take a look and make some decisions on how to go about to actually draw this out. The only thing that I can tell at the moment is the uh, hole diameter and some hole placement. So I see that there is some half an inch uh, or half-inch radius holes or 1-inch diameter holes that are located. They're 2 inches apart in the um, Y, and they're 3 inches apart in the X dimension horizontally. So um, for right now, just for simplicity's sakes, I'm going to draw using the center radius tool, and we'll go ahead and specify the center point of the lower left hand one at 0, 0 for right now. And again, this is going to be a radius of 0.5. Now I'm backed all the way out, so let me go ahead and type in zoom and do a zoom all so I can bring that in closer to where I was. And now it's a matter of some coordinate points for the rest of these. So I'll repeat this circle. So or go ahead and come back center radius here. Now I know that the next one is going to be at 3, 0. And again, that will be a half-inch radius as well. So right click to repeat the circle. And now my this will be at 0, 2. So, and this radius will be 0.5 again. So right click, repeat circle. Now we're going to be at 3, 2, just using coordinate points. And of course, this is a 0.5 inch or a half an inch radius as well. So I've got those uh, particular circles in there. And I can kind of see I've got some additional geometry in there as well. So, I'm looking at this point. We do need those circles at a half-inch radius, but I'm noticing now that I'm looking at it that the actual diameter of these holes are a half an inch. So let me go ahead and let's get those holes. So I'm going to use the center diameter here. Now I can just kind of pick up on these center points. So, or I can come down and I'll turn my object snaps on and I'll use the center object snap. So that'll make it a little simpler here too. So I can notice as I go in. So I'll pick up the center of that. This one's going to be 0.5. So go ahead and we'll repeat the circle, pick up the center of that, 0.5, enter. Nope, messed that one up. So we'll repeat the circle. Go, 0.5. 0.5, enter, right click, repeat circle, 0.5, and repeat the circle. Do the same thing here, 0.5, left click, there we go. All right, so I've got those. This one looks a little goofy. I'm going to delete this out and might just be something with my screen, but let's just double check. So 0.5. All right, so now we need the geometry of these larger ones to kind of get us started with the horizontal lines here as well. So, and I can use quadrant now. So let's go back to my object snap for the quadrant. So turn that on and we'll go to the line tool. So now I'm going to draw this line here from quadrant to quadrant. Enter, right click, repeat line, go from quadrant to quadrant here. Enter that. So we've got that in there. And I know now that those are offset by 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to come here and offset. So type in 0.75, enter. We'll select this one. This is going to be offset this way, and this one will be offset that way. So that takes care of those two horizontal lines. Now it's kind of a matter of going through with some arcs, and we got to stop to think about. Let me escape out of the offset tool, and I have two 3-inch radius arcs that are on the outside. And if we take a look at those, we can see that those arcs are tangent to these curves, to these larger diameters. So let's go and see if I've got any type of a arc um, that might give me a tangency point. So not really. I've got a, let's see, a start, end, and radius. We're going to try this start, end, and radius. I'm going to come back to my object snaps here, turn off quadrant, turn off center, midpoint, endpoint, and we're just going to use the tangent point. So now let's try this. So let's see here. Notice it's coming in, so I've got the tangent point, but we've got to look to see, is the tangent point going to be up on this side or that side? So let's go, we'll start here with the tangent, there with the tangent. So notice how it's giving us something funky going on there. Let's go ahead and type in that it is a 3-inch radius. And not exactly where we want it to be placed. So let's click on that, delete it. So let's try it again. Um, so let's look at the circle drawing. So let's go tan radius here with this. Let's try this. So with tan, and then the radius here of 3. So notice where it's at. It's kind of going on the opposite direction of that. So let's undo this. Try that again. So we'll notice, let's go up here now, and down here, type in 10. Notice the difference between when we pick it up down here versus up here. So which way we want it to be as far as tangent. So that one works. We're going to do the same thing here now for this one. Tan up here, tan down there, and a 10-inch radius again. So now we've got those. So we're going to have to go and do some trimming out here. So we can use our trim tool. We'll get rid of this. So we'll come back. All of those are taken care of. I'm going to escape out of my trim tool so it's easier to just delete these now. Zoom back in. Let me hit the, I'm going to turn my grids off just to help me clean up and take a look now at a couple of the other lines. I don't want to delete anything out here or trim anything out here yet because I don't quite know where things are going. Well, I do. I can tell. So let's go ahead and we're going to trim uh, this out because I know that that line terminates there, and I'm going to trim this out. So because I do know that those lines terminate at that diameter. So escape out to get out of my trim code. Now, so we've got a 0.56 radius. That's 2 times as well. And from the looks of that, that is also another tan type situation. So let's go ahead and create the tan. So we're going to go tangent to here, tangent to there, and then we will go 0.56 on my radius. So do the same thing over here. So we'll just repeat this circle. So tangent to here. Now notice where it's wanting to pick up at. So tangent to there. Now, the reason for that is because when we do that circle, it brings up a different one. So let's just go back up here and let's just make sure that we're selecting the tan radius. Tangent, tangent, and 0.56. There we go. Now we've got that. Now we can go back and start to trim out what we know. So we can trim out this, trim out that, trim out this. Here we go. And there we go. Everything is trimmed out the way we want it. Escape out of that command. We are done with this drawing, so we'll go ahead and go File, Save As, and this one we want to save as Gasket A. Hyphen your first initial, your last name, and hit Save, and we're finished with this.